My dear students in language schools, here we have the last final revision for Qureo platform. We will prepare you for the exam. Let's start with conditions. Last time we have revised until chapter 25, and today we will start with chapter 26. Arrays. What are arrays? Suppose that you have a collection of items of the same type and you want to store them in adjust memory location. Means you have here equal locations for each item. Here, as you like, we have apples saved in the same place, which are visual representations composed of columns and rows. Think of an array as a row of boxes holding items. It seems like a box holds items, but these items are stored in the same box, and this box have a name. So each array consists or composed of some items stored under a certain name for all elements. We have two types of arrays. 1D array, which consists of one row and of course some columns, and 2D array, which consists of some columns across some rows. Why we use arrays? We have to use arrays because we can store multiple values of the same type under a single name. This is the first benefit of using array. And arrays are easy to access using an index. And arrays are also helpful for organizing and processing data. For all of this, we can say that arrays make programming easier because it easify the access to data. تخلي الدخول للداتا أو الوصول للداتا أسهل because it is organized. So the key points of our lesson today is how to use for loops with arrays. We have studied arrays and we have studied also for loops. Now, how to use for loops with arrays. Let's create a program as follows. We want to assign the temperature values to the variable templist. Templist here is of course an array. Next, the second step, we will add up to the 7 days of temperature data. How we will design a program like this? First, we have to declare the variable templist and assign values to array. Let templist equal and insert or assign all the values inside the variable. And we have to declare another variable which is sum and assign 0 to this variable. And here we need to repeat a certain value which is adding a day by day to the variable sum. So we have here to use a loop. So we use a for loop because we know the number of additions for let I equal 0 and I less than 7, I plus plus, which means here we will add 1 each time to the value of I. Inside the loop, we have to repeat the statement sum equals sum plus templist of I. That means we have to increase the value of sum by the item of the array temp list. And of course, we will repeat this statement for 7 times. That means we will add the 7 days to sum. So what are the number of repetitions here mean? That means we want to move or to count all the temp list to be added to the value of sum in order to calculate average for, of course, or to get the average temperature degree within 7 days. So The number of repetitions here means we have to count each time we access to the list and take the first value, then the second value, then the third value till the last one, and these values will be added to the value of sum. So inside the parentheses, we assign 0 to the variable I, and as long I is less than 7, we add 1 to I, and this determines how many times to repeat. So here we will add the item in the temp list to the value of sum. First time we will add temp list of 0, which is the first element. The time next we will add temp list of 1, which is the second value of the array. Temp list 2, which is the third value of array. We have here indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, which means item 0, item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4. So the array here have 5 elements or 5 items. And we need to add item by item to the value of sum and get the new sum. Till we reach the end, we will have the sum of the 5 values. Let temp list equal this item 36.2, 36.5, 36.3, 36.8, 36.4, 36.9, 36.6, and then declare the variable sum and assign 0 to this variable, and then start repeating by the loop. We have here 4, let I equal 0, and we will work till I less than 7, still I less than 7, until I reach 7 we will stop, and each time we increment the value of I by 1. So each time also the new value of sum will be equal to the old value plus the value of the following item in temp list. يعني القيمة الجديدة للسم بتساوي القيمة القديمة للسم زائد العنصر اللي عليه الدور من الليست. احنا ماشيين على عناصر الليست واحد واحد. Finally, we have to calculate the average. So how we will calculate the average? By adding all values to the variable sum and then divided by 0. Why? Because the average of any number of values are equal to the sum of values divide the number of them. متوسط مجموعة من الأعداد بتساوي المجموع الأعداد دي على عددهم. So احنا جمعنا الأعداد كلها في ال variable sum and then divided by 7 to get the average. So how we will count the number of array elements? How we will count the number of array elements? We will use the statement variable name dot length. Let's see how we can use it to count the number of elements and show it on screen, of course. We have here to let temp list equal and start to put the items of temp list. Then we have to show on screen temp list dot length. What length do here? Length here do to count the number and tell us that the number of elements inside the arrayment are, here we have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 14. We have 14 elements, so the result will be 14. Length doesn't care about the value of these items, but care about the number of these items. It's a temp list array contains 14 elements. يبقى هي بتعد عدد عناصر الارray. So here the number of boxes are 10, and in each box we have to put a value, and then we calculate how many boxes are they. هي دي بالظبط الايتم اوف array شبه السير بتاع الفوكسز او شبه عربيات القطر. ممكن نسميها شبه عربيات القطر، كلها مربوطه ببعض وكل عربيه فيها فاليو معين او فيها عدد معين من الاشخاص. يبقى انا لو حابب احسب عدد ركاب القطار يبقى هجمع كل الايه الايتمز او كل الاشخاص اللي موجودين في الاري. So let's have another example. Type in the editor. We will create a program that outputs the average body temperature from the 14 days of temperature data in variable temp list. We will enter the program as below. Let sum equal 0. For let I equal 0, I less than 14, and I plus plus. So inside for we have to calculate the sum of simplest items. So we have to calculate like this: sum equal sum plus simplest of I, to add item by item. And after finishing for, notice here that we have get out for, because we close the curly bracket of for. In for we have to show the components, the start value, the last value, and the increment value. And then inside the curly brackets we have the statement to be repeated. After finishing repeating, after ending the curly bracket, we can add another statement which is not belong to for, which is console.log sum divide 14. So we have to get here the last value of sum and divide it by 14 to get the average, and the average of course is shown as you see here. How to combine arrays, for loops, and if statements. We want to combine all of them inside a simple program. Create a program that outputs avoid going outside if there is a temperature of 37.5 Celsius degree or higher among the temperature data. So we have the condition here, and we have to show a message if a certain condition is achieved or met. Look at this program. Let simplest equal and get the different elements of the array temp list, of course, which is about the temperature data within 14 days. Then we will add for a statement to the program for let I equal 0 and I less than templest dot length. Here we use templest dot length to get the number of items inside the list, and of course I is less than, not less than or equal, because if we have 14 values, for example, the indexes will be from 0 to 13. عندي الاري مكونه من 14 عنصر، بيبقى الاندكس بتاعها من 0 ل 13. فانا لو جبت اللينس هنا، اللينس will be 14. So I should write I less than 14, not less than or equal, because 14 is not considered in the index as an index. And I plus plus means here that you will each time increase the value of I by 1. If templest of I, here we will show 1 by 1. We will get by 1 by 1. And each value we get from the list, we compare with the value 37.5. So we compare the 14 values to 37.5. And if here the statement of console.log is inside the curly bracket, so it belongs to if statement. If templest of I greater than or equal to 37.5, in this case we will show on screen avoid going outside. So if you have a look here, how many items will show this message? We have here 36. Is 36 greater than or equal 37.5? Of course not. 36.5? Of course not. 36.3? Of course not. 36.8? Of course not. 36.4? Of course not. And we will move on till we reach, we have a new item. So the result will be no output because all items are less than 37. Let's have some questions. Please select the output result when the following program is executed. Let's score list, and we have some items here. Show score list of index 2. Okay, the index started from 0. So 0, 1, 2, this item will take the index value of 0. This item 60 will take the index value of 1. And of course, a score list of 2 is equal to 79, which is the third value. Because we started with 0, so 0, 1, 2, the third value is equal to 79. And let's look for 79 in the choices. We have the choices here, 82, which of course is not the correct answer. Score list of 2, of course we didn't put it inside double quotation. ما حطيناش الجملة بين double quotation عشان تظهر زي ما هي على الشاشة. 79, which is correct of course, and 60. So the correct answer is 79. Now question number 2. Enter a program that outputs the value 59 from variable score list to the console. However, please don't directly input a 59. This is similar to the question of exam. It also stay a hint. Please don't directly input 59. Get it from the score list. How we will do it? Let's see the program. That score list, of course, equal, for example, 52, 60, 79, 82, 66, 59, and 88. So I want to get the value 59, which is the sixth item. So let's count together, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, really it's the sixth value. So we have to write console.log score list of 5. Moving to question 3. Enter a program that outputs the average score of 7 people. We have 7 people, all of them have scores, and we want to get the average score. So we have to first declare a variable sum and assign 0 to it, and then repeat the statement sum is equal to sum plus score list of I 7 times. However, declare the variable as I, and please don't use length here. Output the variable of sum divided by 7 people to the console. Let's start. Let score list equal and give 7 numbers for 7 people, 7 scores for 7 people. And we have to declare the variable sum and assign 0 to it. We have to write let sum equal 0 or sum equal 0. For let I equal 0, I less than 7, because we will take the index from 0 to 6, as we said before. Then increment I by 1, increment I by 1. Inside the curly bracket, we have to repeat the statement sum equals sum plus score list of I. And after finishing repeating the same statement for 7 times, after finishing repeating, we have get the last value of sum. We need here to show on screen the last value of sum divided by 7 to get the average value. Now moving to for of loop. For of loop. When we use for of loop, for of loop here is used to iterate over the elements of arrays, strings, maps, sets, and other iterable objects. So for of loop is needed when we have iterable objects such as arrays, maybe strings, maybe maps, maybe sets, and other iterable objects. How we can use it? Let's have a look at the syntax. We will write for and variable of iterable, and then we have code to be executed inside the curly bracket. Let's have an example. See how it works. Let fruits equal apple, banana, mango. We have 3 items here. So for let fruit of fruits, fruit is a variable and fruits is the array. Cancel the log, fruit. What will be the result? It will move to item by item, move or access to item by item inside the array and print the value of each item. So we will have 3 printing statements here which are inside the for loop, so it will be repeated because we have 3 elements of the array. So we will repeat the statement console.log 3 times, once to print apple, the second to print banana, and the third to print mango. Let's understand how it works. Look at the flow chart. Start, get the next value from the iterable. More values left? Yes. Execute code with current value? No, you will stop. So احنا بنبدأ هنا مع الفيرست element، يعني احنا بنعمل متغير بياخد عدد القيم اللي موجودة جوه الاري ويبدأ يموف جوه الاري ستيب باي ستيب. فإذا الفور هنا بتتحدد بعدد عناصر الاري مش بقيمة أنا بحددها ما بين أقواس الفور. يبقى لما أقول let fruit of fruits، fruit هنا الفاريبل like I مثلا، و of fruits هنا الاري، كأني بقول له اعمل تكرار. خلاص، هذا التكرار مش بعدد مرات أنا اللي بحددها، لا، بعدد العناصر اللي موجودة في الأري، وكل مرة هتطبع الإيه العنصر اللي عليه الدور، فهيعمل لك 3 جمل طباعة apple, banana and mango. So it's cleaner and easier code, and it's perfect when you need the values, and it works on arrays, strings, maps, and so on. So we have here a variable degree of a degree list. We have here a list of degrees or an array of degrees, and each time we fill the variable degree by element of array. One by one, first 8, then move it and assign 6, then move it and assign 11, then move it and assign 10, till we reach to the last one. We have a small program here. What will this program do? It will create a program to show all 7 temperature values on the console. So we have to use for let degree of degree list. We will get all degree list, all the items in degree list, and assign them one by one to the variable degree, and each time we will print the value of degree. So that means we will print the elements of array which are assigned to the variable one by one. يعني احنا عملنا variable وقلنا الفاريبل ده انت بتاخد القيم بتاعتك من الاري، فكل مرة قيمته بتتغير بقيمة جديدة من الفاليوز بتاعت الاري، وكل مرة بيطبع القيمة اللي بياخدها، فبيظهر جميع عناصر الاري في الاوتبوت. So how we will calculate the number of repetitions? We have here a degree list of 7 items, 8, 6, 11, 10, 9, 7, 12. So we here say for let I equal 0, I less than 7, I plus plus, and each time that means we have 7 times of repetition from 0 to 6, console.log degree list of I. So the first one we will take 8, then 6, then 11, then 10, then 9, then 7, then 12. We can choose how many items or how many times to repeat by counting times in a list. So instead of putting I less than 7, instead of counting the number of elements inside the array, we have to write I less than degree list of length. Degree list dot length will get the number of items, which are 7, and I need here to put I less than 7 because 0 is not counted in a length. الزيرو مش بيتحسب معايا وانا بعد. انا بعد عنصر 2 3 4 till we reach 7، لكن الاندكس بتاعهم بيكون from 0 to 6. So I have to write here I less than degree list dot length. And of course, inside the curly bracket of 4, we will repeat printing the degree list of I to get all the elements of the array printed. Now it's time for exercise. What does for loop do? Loops through object keys, loops through values of an iterable, runs code forever, loops only number, of course not. C and D, of course not. No loop, infinity loop, in for loop, it's not for infinity loop. And it doesn't only loops number. So 1 or 2. I notice here the word of iterable and for of are working on iterable. So the for of loop is loop through values of iterable. So item B is correct. What will be the output? See the code and guess the output. Let colors equal red, green, blue. So colors here is an array or a list. And we have to use for statement, let color of colors. Color here is a variable and colors is the array. Console.log color. So we have a variable color which will access the array and print each item one by one. The output will be 0, 1, 2, red, green, blue, colors undefined. Of course, the items of an array بالترتيب كده هيبقوا أنا عايزة أطبع الفاليو بتاعتهم فهتبقى أكيد red, green, blue or item B. Which on the following can be used with for of الارrays, the strings, sets وكل دول iterables or all of the above, which is the correct answer, of course, all of the above. What is not true about for of? Carefully care about this type of question. بنتلخبط. We have 3 true statements and only 1 not true, which is a correct answer. It gives values directly. It works with iterable. It gives index automatically. It is easy to read. For sure, it gives values directly. And for sure, it works with iterable. And it is easy to read, but it doesn't give index automatically So the correct answer, which is not true about for of, is it gives index automatically. Question number 5. What is printed? For lecture of high and then console.log char. طب here we have strings. We have strings which is I, which is high. High, I, are two iterable strings. حرفين. شغل variable ياخد أول مرة قيمة الحرف الأولاني والمرة الثانية ياخد قيمة الحرف الثاني وبعد كده يدور على كاركترز تانية ما يلاقيش فيوقف. طيب how it will be printed? High, H and I, 0 and 1, error. Error is not considered. 0 and 1 I don't say اطبع الاندكس، ما حصلش، انا قلت اطبع الفاليو. So high is one word. Now we have two strings here. We have two strings inside the loop which are R, H and I separately, and this is the correct answer. Now moving to the last part, which is about conditions. يعني ايه conditions? Conditions are used to make decisions. When we need to make decision, to take decision in a program, the program checks a condition and execute code based on the result of condition. If the result is true, it will take a decision. If the result is false, it will take a different decision, not similar decisions. And we have here comparison operators like equal, not equal to, greater than and less than, greater than or equal, or less than or equal. Conditions help our probabilism to choose the right path. In which cases we need condition? When we want to log into systems, check if username and password are correct, or grade calculator, check marks and display the grade, or traffic lights, change lights based on conditions, and in games we have to make game decision. Let's have an example. Let age equal 18. If age greater than or equal 18, you can write here using console.log, you can vote. You can vote and else you can't vote yet. عندك 18 سنة تقدر تعمل voting، تقدر تشارك في الانتخابات. أقل من 18 سنة لا يعتد بصوتك. فالقصة كلها وأنت عندك كم سنة؟ من البداية I assign the value of 18 to age. So of course the value or the result will be, the result of condition will be true, and the printed statement is you can vote. We can use conditions in many cases. Simple if statement, or if else statement, or if else statement. Case 1, if statement, execute code if condition is true. If condition is true, in yes, execute code, and in no, you skip code, you do nothing. هنا أنا عندي رد أو code هيتنفذ once the condition is true only. If the condition is false, I do nothing. So we use it as simple if. The second one, I need to execute code in all times. But if the condition is true, I execute true block. And if condition is not true, we execute false block. If true, do this. If false, do that. حاجة تانية خالص غير الأولانية. But we can have two or more choices. We can, in some cases, check multiple conditions. For example, في المدرسة مثلا مش بس إنك تنجح علشان جايب سكور أعلى من 50، لا، جايب سكور أعلى من 50 ومحقق نسبة الاتندنس في المدرسة. I have to check, is your score is greater than or equal to 50? Yes. Is Your attendance is greater than or equal 75, yes. If not yes here or not yes here, you have a third choice. Check 1 2 else. يعني احنا بنتشيك condition 1 لا ما تحققش، بنتشيك condition 2 لا ما تحققش، نروح اخر اختيار للelse بلوك وما بنكتبش فيه condition تالت، احنا بنكتب فيه الاحتمال الاخير زي ما بنقول. So can we use many else if here? Yes, we can use if, else if, else if, else if until the cases are finished, and then the last one we use with it else statement, only else. So we have only one if and only one else, and in between we have many else if according to the number of conditions or to the number of cases. عندنا if واحدة وelse واحدة، وأي عدد من الelse if ممكن يستخدم جوه البرنامج حسب الحالات المتعددة اللي موجودة جوه. زي مثلا حالة التقديرات اللي هي excellent, very good, good, passed and fail. We have here 5 cases. So I use if and else and 3 else if. Let's create a program if the fish code is 50 centimeter or larger, output big catch and increase the big fish counter by 1. We have a big fish counter. So let fish equal 50 and let count, which is of course refers to the counter of big fish. If fish greater than or equal 50 centimeters here, we have to print or to show on screen the word big catch and need to add 1 to the value of count. So we need to write each time big fish counter plus the count. نفضل نزود العداد او نخلي العداد يزيد وكل مرة نكتب يا ترى احنا وصلنا للبيج فيش كاونتر رقم كام. زي بالظبط ما انت بتشوف كده عداد بيفضل يزيد ستيب 1 ستيب 2 ستيب 3 بيظهر قدامك ان انت ايه عملت ستيبس او عملت انجازات او زودت ليفلز and so on. So we have here to create a program. Let's vibrate and go for a picnic. If it is sunny and bakery is open, we have 2 conditions here. We have 2 conditions. The weather is sunny and the bakery is open. Otherwise, we write launcher 2. So we have to declare a variable called weather, which means weather, and assign the value sunny to it. And let's complete the program as follows. Declare variable shop and assign the value open to it. If variable shop is open, output let's buy bread and go for a picnic to the concert. So again, you have to declare variable shop and assign the value open to it. And then a variable shop is open, output let's buy bread and go for a picnic to the concert. How we will create this program. Let weather equal sunny, let shop equal open, and now let's compare weather to sunny. If weather equal sunny, if this is correct, if the condition is true, we have to check another condition, which shop is equal to open. So of course, if I ask weather equals sunny and the result is true, we move to the next one. If shop equal open, console.log. If 2 conditions are met, console.log. Let's buy bread and go for a picnic, and else console.log launch at home. So we will declare the weather variable and assign sunny to it. Also declare the variable shop and assign open to it. If weather equal to sunny, this condition is met. I will check for another condition. So we have here nested if. We have 2 conditions, but we will ask for the other condition if the first condition is met. If shop equal open and weather equal sun. يعني انا اتاكدت هنا ان الكونديشن الاولاني او الفاليو بتاعت الفاريبل weather is equal to sunny، مفيش مشكله. طيب لو ده حصل ابدا روح اعمل تشيك على الفاليو بتاعت الشوب. if shop equal open يبقى احنا كده اتاكدنا ان التو كونديشنز اتحققوا، يبقى اتبع let's buy bread and go for a picnic. else هنا بتاعت الاف التانية، يعني الشوب مش open، فانا مش هروح اشتري عيش يبقى cancel the club lunch at home، هنقضي اليوم في البيت. So if we have nested if here, we will ask for the first condition. The weather is sunny. If yes, so I will ask for the bakery if the bakery is open. If yes, buy bread and have picnic. طب if the weather is sunny but the bakery is not open, we can buy apple and have a picnic too. If the weather is not sunny, we will launch it. لو الكونديشن الاولاني متحققش احنا اصلا هنتغدى في البيت. لكن لو الويذر sunny هبدا اشوف بقى عندي اختيارين، البيكري اوبن هشتري عيش واروح البيكنيك، او البيكري مقفول فهشتري تفاح واروح البيكنيك برضو. ليه؟ علشان الويذر sunny، ف it's time for picnic. Now moving to the questions. What is the nested condition? ايه المقصود بالnested condition؟ A loop inside another loop? Of course not. Nested condition is not loop at all. And if statements inside another if or else. A function inside a loop? Of course it is an if statement inside another if or else. Now, what is the output? We have a program here and we want to check the result. A is bigger, B is bigger than 5, and B is small. Let's check the program. We have A equal 3 and B equal 8. Let's check the first condition. If A greater than B. Is A greater than B? Of course not. A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 8, so the first condition is not met. We have to move to the second condition. If B greater than 5, of course yes, because B is equal to 8. A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 8, so B is greater than 5. The second condition is met, so the program will show on screen B is greater than 5, which the second answer is correct. Thank you very much, my dear students, for listening and following. I hope that the exam will be easy and all of you succeed. Till we meet again, goodbye everybody.